Connection. This is your host, Minute Lawrence, coming to you live from the Morning Connection studio. We're building a studio from Best 100 FM in Kingston. Pastor Percival, my co-host, with me this morning. We're so pleased to be with you, coming down and enjoying the sunrise. Did you see how beautiful the sky was, Percival? I know you were driving. I have the luxury of watching the skyline as I'm coming down because I'm a passenger. Let me tell you, nature was on display. It was just simply amazing. For the early morning hour, the sky was clear and the clouds were showing off, shot through with the early morning sunlight. It was not a silver lining, it was a golden lining. Just absolutely beautiful. So we say good morning to all those who have joined us on air and online. I hope you had a chance, those of you in Jamaica who are heading out. I hope you took a moment to appreciate the beauty of the sunrise and to just let it refresh your soul. I needed that kind of refreshment this morning coming in. So we say good morning to you, Delroy. Thank you. I know it is midday, probably eating your lunch or something. Where you are, it is a lot later in the day. You could tell us what the day will bring, at least for the first half of it.
Because he's gone through it already.
He's gone through it already. But, thank you for joining us. We're looking forward to having a great time this morning, just chatting with you, getting some of the issues clarified with at a higher level. And just seeking to keep ourselves in good spirits even while we fight the good fight. So, good morning to those in the studio, producer, engineer, Miss Eden. Boy, I tell you, we are the hatted majority this morning. 3 people in the studio have on hat.
The hot day. We should have a crazy hot day.
No, me not have no crazy hat.
You'd have no crazy or a wacko hat,
No, we'd have to make that up. But
yes, that used to be a thing in schools. They'd give the children a chance for expression of their creativity.
Their creativity.
Crazy hat day, and you saw some really crazy hats. Like somebody were at like square. That was a hat, and it really showed up the young people's creativity when you have crazy hat day at school.
So you want to have crazy hat day in studio?
I don't know.
This look like a bad hair day in studio.
Oh, that's what it is? Oh, I am so sorry. It is a bad hair. But I am grateful for being alive today. I heard a song yesterday. And what was interesting about the song was played on Best, actually, in the afternoon. Grateful, grateful, grateful. I'm saying, okay. And then in the middle of the song, there's a little girl, more than like it was the artist's daughter, saying, I'm grateful for my family, I'm grateful for being alive. And so this morning we enter this 23rd day of August, being grateful that we are alive. I recall Paul in writing to the Corinthian church, he said, in everything give thanks. Not some, in everything give thanks, because it shifts, I believe personally, it shifts your attitude when your default position is always to complain about everything that is going wrong or everything that is out of place. When you begin to give thanks, yes, this has happened, but I also declare, Father, that you're in control, and the steps of the righteous man are ordered every day. I'm giving you thanks because it is a privilege to serve. It is a privilege to change somebody's path, change somebody's way, to lift up somebody's spirit who is down, and just saying, I'm giving you thanks. I'm not going to allow my circumstances to dictate how I be. For me personally, it helps me every day. Every day I get up and I'm saying, thank you, God, for another day. I wonder what kind of surprises you're going to have for me today. What opportunities will I have just for you to show up and to just glorify yourself through the things that I do. So I am grateful and I'm thankful for being alive. And I'm thankful for you too, my friend Minetti, as African always calls you. No expression at all. This is I'm so grateful. I'm grateful and I'm happy and I'm giving God thanks. Something happened to me on Thursday after I left you. I went downtown and there's a gentleman, Paul, who's always there. And this day, he said to me, "Hey, why don't you come and check out my wares?" And I said, "Okay." When I went out, if somebody says that to me, I go back to them and I talk to them and you're at the saying. And then he begins to say, "My mother just died. My mother just died." And you could see in terms of his expression. And he was talking about the expenses being taken care of, but whatever I can do, I don't, not begging you. I'm just saying, can you support me? And I said, well, I'm a woolly pop belt and thing. But anyway, I gave him some money towards it and I was walking away, And the Spirit said, where you go? Go back and pray for the man. Go back and pray for the man. And I did that and I went and I just offered a word of prayer of comfort. And guess what happened in it? I think myself praying for him was even more profound for him because it lifted his spirit. It's like Paul, Peter and John entering into the thing, and the gentleman is there always asking for a thing, and they say, boy, we don't have no money, but what we have, we're giving to you. And I just say, for persons of faith, that I think the simple requirement that each one of us have each day is to have an attitude of thanksgiving, but always be open to doing something that allows you to come out of your normal comfort zone, like a simple prayer. I've discovered in all of my movements throughout Jamaica, whoever the person is, if you offer to pray for them, they will always receive it because it does something to the spirit in terms of lifting people out. So this morning, offer a word of prayer to somebody. Encourage somebody this morning. Have an attitude of thanksgiving. And it goes a long way. You'll never know what it does for that person. It is now time for our 6:30 break. We'll come right back after this break this morning.
A difference you can hear, a difference you can feel.
Best FM 100 on your dial. Keep listening.
People, are you listening?
If you choose to remain at home after an evacuation order has been issued, you do so at your own risk.
Get down, get down! Heed the warning!
For a better choice in all your electrical supplies, A, authorized 3M dealer and better brand names. B, better service including free island-wide delivery. C, all major credit and debit cards accepted. It's ABC Electrical Sales. Shop number 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10. Open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. We make your electrical jobs as easy as ABC. Call 754-3825-8 or fax 754-3659. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice.
Half a tree, 100, half a tree. Bossy, how do I take taxi start?
Jano, I want to tell you, say, 2 months now, my transmission mash up, and me check everybody and can't hear nothing positive.
Yeah, hear me? Yeah, waste all that time I shop around and never call the experts. Winters Auto have them. Them have over 35 years of experience and them diagnose the problem and get back your transmission brand new. For them service excellent and efficient. Trust me, man. Yeah, hear me? Call them at 929-7040 or go to them at 106 Maxfield Avenue, Kingston 13 and talk directly to the boss. Just tell them I'm me, send you.
Wow, you big star. Yeah, man, respect my boss.
Yeah, try calling her, cause trust me.
Waiters Auto Spares and Repairs, good afternoon.
Ah, what a relief.
Best 100 FM is the authentic voice of Jamaica, promoting your prosperity with better vibes and better music. Let us promote your goods and services for you. Advertise with us. For more information, call our office at 876-276-8935. That's 276-8935.
The Morning Connection is not your usual talk show. We aim to stimulate discussion and chart new paths to self-empowerment. So please join us, Minette and Percy, on The Morning Connection, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Best 100 FM.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats.
Good morning and welcome back. I've been a bit expressionless, as Percival puts it.
Yeah.
And so I can feel his concern. So I'm not even going to look at him. Just let him be concerned. He's a pastor. That is the heart of being a pastor. Concern for the condition of mankind, right? Womankind too. Good morning, Conrad. And I have to say a very special thank you for Delroy's greeting this morning. So usually Delroy does like about 3 postings. The first one is addressed to Miss Lawrence and Mr. Percy. And to both of us, he says, Percy, he says, may God bless your day and keep you both safe from harm and more. And then the second one he addresses to me. He said, Miss Lawrence, God listens not only to the words of our prayers, but also to our heart. Nothing is impossible when God is on your side. UK up. And then he addresses Miss Lawrence and Mr. Percy. Never forget the 3 powerful resources you both always have available to you. Love, prayer, and forgiveness. What caught my attention is the one that is just for me, because it is perfect.
Yes.
It is perfect. It's a very, 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 very timely. I got up this morning in a fighting spirit. I don't know. I just felt like, okay, Minette, this morning you're going to do something radical. Not with the people on air. God bless you. I am never radical with you. But there are some things going on that I just got up and it's like, come on, girl, take out your sword. What you doing about these things? You know, all kinds of craziness. And I was plotting a course. I had it all settled in my mind. And then it was time to do our devotion. And the topic of the devotion said, trust God to do it in his way. So you see why I'm silent? Because you cannot wake up, take out your sword, polish up your armor, ready to go to war.
And then him say,
and here, trust God to do it in his way. I'm like, what? Who woke me up with this energy and this vibe? Not you?
Yes.
So I'm kind of what you call it now. I'm coming down from the high.
It's a high. It's
of
not
course,
a high.
you're ready for war, and to take off your armor and say, all right, chill day.
Some of the times it's a perspective that he's telling you, okay, you are getting ready for war, but the way that you're gonna wage war is not the way that you normally figure you would do it.
So I'm shifting.
Yeah, I'm shifting here. Say, you're at war in a minute.
I'm always at war. I have the scars. I have
but in terms of
the PTSD, was post-traumatic stress disorder. I have everything that tells you you're in war. You're a victim of war. You're a soldier. You're a casualty. I've been in every stage of the war. And this morning, I was ready to be a warrior again. I said, you know what? Enough. Done with this. Unacceptable. Not accepting it. And like 5 or so minutes later, I almost laughed. It was so ridiculous to just see something that says, trust God to do it in his way. So that took me, and it actually inspired me to share something this morning. See there? Trust God to do it his way. Ridiculous.
Isn't that how God is?
Ridiculous?
No.
Well, to us, the foolishness of God. So it caused me to, and then in keeping with that,
you went to Second Chronicles.
It's when, yes, man, your favorite King Jehoshaphat.
Yeah, one of my praise. The whole thing I praise. And giving thanks. And she never told me anything about this before, people. So.
All right. Jehoshaphat's prayer. So I'm sharing it this morning because I figure if it happened to me in such a dramatic form, it means that I need to share it because someone else like me might be saying, you know what, I'm tired of this. I'm done with this. I'm going to cut my way to a resolution that suits me. Your situation might be, you know, school is about to reopen. The kids need to get back to school. School fees need to be paid. Supplies need to be purchased. Your light bill is due. Your car note is due. And whatever your situation is with your income, it is not adding up. And you're saying, no, this one owe me money. That one has this for me. I have done what I needed to do. I'm going to take what is mine. Taking what is yours is scriptural, you know. So there really is nothing wrong in you having the thought in your mind that you're going to take what is yours. When the children of Israel were being shown the promised land, that's the instruction they got. Go and take what is yours. I have given it to you. And they had to go and clear the land, and it was not just cutting down bush and building a hut. It was get rid of people. So it was not pretty. It was a challenge. So you get up and you feel like, I need to take what's mine. I can't keep looking at other people prospering with my things. It is time. And then you get an instruction that said, trust God to do it his way. In other words, it's not that it's against his will, what you are desiring. It is very much in keeping with his will. It is yours. But there's a way to go about doing everything that will cause it to be sustainable, that will cause you to prosper in it. And that. The way is his way. So I very quickly fell into Jehoshaphat's prayer, and I marked it so I could share it this morning. When Jehoshaphat saw the whole army arrayed against them, he said, see how they are repaying us by coming to drive us out of the possession you gave us as an inheritance. Or God, will you not judge them? For we have no power to face this vast army that is attacking us. We do not know what to do, but our eyes are on you. That is the mood now this morning. I'm like, oh. So, you know, quickly as I got on the road and I saw the beauty of the sunrise, oh my God, it started to calm my spirit. I'm not fully calmed as yet. I'm still kind of restless. So when I get restless, I get quiet, which is a weird way to be when you have 4 hours on air. But we'll see how it goes this morning. Trying to keep my eyes on him because I'm ready to go to war. And he's telling me that the battle is not mine, it's his. And I'm saying, but you told me that 10 years ago. And then I want to say something about sovereignty. A few days ago, someone asked about sovereignty. Do you remember? What does it mean that we are sovereign? Because we've been talking about independence. It was true during the whole work up to independence, and many have had issues about is Jamaica independent or not. And they look at the arrangements on paper versus the arrangements on the ground versus the arrangements in the spirit. And we are conflicted about our condition at the present time. It's not unusual to be conflicted about your position. The truth of the matter is, as long as you're alive and moving and breathing and doing things, conflict is going to be present, because sometimes that is the tension which allows for things to grow and to change and to be better. If you just kind of got up and did whatever you felt like and stopped whenever you felt like, I'm not sure what that would be called, but I'm not even sure. That would be existing. Yeah? It wouldn't be abundant living. You'd just be existing, moving with the flow, being pushed about and taking no control.
So you're really just flowing, you're moving, you're not dictating, you're not being proactive.
Yeah. Resistance, when you push against something or it pushes against you and you push back, that's living.
You know, what I just heard.
Yes.
You've not been this way before. You see, when you see the priest carrying the ark,
Mm-hmm.
when they were crossing the Jordan into the promised land. You remember that?
Yeah, man.
You've not been this way before. You've
that
not
remains my prophetic instruction for 2022. Follow
not,
the ark.
You've not been this way before.
That's what we have for 2022.
Listen, them move. You've not been this way before. Just move. And so therefore, even for you, when you were, and he says the title of your he would say
outrageous. Just got to do it his way.
and that's where trust really and faith is really grown in you in terms of your muscles of faith are working themselves out in you. And I'm just remembering Abraham. When Abraham received that call, Abraham was well off, People don't recognize that he was a man of means. And God says to him, hello, I'm taking you into a place you've never seen before. And he just ups and left what was the place of comfort to a place that God was building for him. And that is just absolute trust in a God who loves you and understands where you are at and knows you even better than you know yourself. And him saying, all right, means him. And producer, put your hands in my hands. I'm about to do something new and different in your lives. That's just going to blow your minds. I don't know where I believe it. I believe it.
You want to minister to me, man. You see the turmoil.
Yeah.
That is beneath my skin in this moment.
And for those who are out there, I know that there are a lot of persons who are where you are at right as we speak this morning. But yeah.
And that's why I'm sharing it, because I said, okay, having got that kind of instruction, which, there are some people who are reluctant warriors. They gotta be pushed. Like, come on, put on the armor and get going.
Mm-hmm.
I am not. I'm someone like, oh, it's time, I'm ready. So I'm not someone who likes to, be sitting down while the fight is going on over there. I want to do my bit. And in my own cause, I want to do my bit. So it's really hard for me to see that there are things which need to be done, and it's very hard. Suffice it to say that it's hard. And I decided that this morning I would just share from that perspective, because I believe that there are many others who are in that similar place, in that same place. And you want to know, what can I do? How can I help myself? There are some things which you really do have to wait for them to be done in the right way, because your way is not going to give you sustainable results. That's all I can say.
Some of the times we do things, I said this, but what God does is always sustainable. Let's say God's will done God's way in God's time, and is always perfect. God's will done God's way in God's time is always perfect. You're going back to
Chronicles?
Yeah.
Now, I want to talk about sovereignty, which we understand to mean having the authority over self, the ability to determine your own outcomes and next steps. Sovereignty is what separates your identity from that of another person. It's where the boundaries lie between you and another person. And I'm just talking about it in a general way, giving many approaches to it, so that persons can understand it, both in terms of politics as well as in the personal sense. I'm pulling up one of the dictionary meanings. The word is often used, of course, in terms of politics and, nationhood, but you are also a sovereign being, meaning you were created with certain inalienable rights and abilities and control over your own self. What constitutes yourself? Sovereignty is the defining authority within an individual consciousness, social construct, or territory. Sovereignty can entail hierarchy within the state as well as external autonomy for states. In any state, sovereignty is assigned to the person, body, or institution that has the ultimate authority over other people in order to establish a law or change an existing law. But I want to look at it now in terms of a being and in terms of our own individual selves. You have control over where your body goes, over your thoughts. You can bring them into subjection. You can control your emotions. So sovereignty is really control, the ability to control whatever is yours. And your body certainly is the first thing that you own. That's why chattel slavery was such an offense
against humans.
That other human beings could dare to think that they can own a person and control a person. But even as you are exercising acts of physical ownership over that person, you still can't control their thoughts. You still can't make them love you or make them respect you. No matter what you think you're getting out of them, you cannot control. It's why you give that joke about the child whose father tell him to what? Sit or stand?
Sit down.
To sit down.
And him say, I'm standing up in my heart.
Standing in my mind. Yes. So that ability to that ability, Earl Swan say, that ability to determine exactly what you hold dear and what keeps you together, that is the essence of sovereignty. Urban asked, which one are you today? Helen of Troy, Joan of Arc, Golda Meir, or Margaret Thatcher?
All of them in one.
Is there a black woman in there somewhere? So I'm looking at sovereignty from that perspective. When we say God is sovereign, we are recognizing that he owns and controls everything in his creation, in his will, in his emotions, if one can construe emotions to a being such as God. It means he's not accountable to you, nor does he have to explain anything to you. That is the essence of sovereignty, is that I own this. I don't have to explain it to you. My conscience is mine.
Say that again.
I can choose whichever way I go, and I owe you no explanation.
That's why it's not bound by the time-space matter.
Precisely. Yes. So when the ultimate understanding or explanation of sovereignty resides in your relationship with your Creator, and you have to respect that if He says not yet, He doesn't have to tell you why. That's the essence of sovereignty. The freedom to move without explanation. And that is why, as human beings, we seek to be in control, and we are offended, insulted, and rightly so, when someone encroaches
on that.
Yes. So now, what is the exception to sovereignty? Me teacher. Covenant. Covenant.
That is an exception to...
That is how you begin to claim something from a sovereign being.
No, because you're in them in covenant.
When you are in covenant.
Yeah. And we're in covenant.
So my prayer this morning, and this is the prayer I'm sharing, as the King Jehoshaphat did.
Because he had covenant.
He claimed covenant.
Because he had covenant with God. And him say, when...
Absolutely.
Remember, because I gone through that, him say, I'm not coming on any other basis but the fact that we have covenant with you.
Yeah.
And it says...
Were it not for the covenant,
yeah.
I would just have to take and suck up whatever you give me. But you entered into a covenant with me that if I move left, you're going to meet me there, and you're going to supply my needs, and you're going to. But under the covenant, I have to be submitted. So when he says, wait on it to be done my way, I can't say, but I'm ready. I just have to remember that I too am bound by covenant. Let's flip it now to the national stage, because, we have been just dissecting what's happening with our own leaders and what's going on in our country, and we've been trying to get to the bottom of it and create the right response so that we too will get sustainable results. The covenant under which we sit, this constitution, and the arrangements that flow from it, the great difficulty with it, and why it is that the government behaves in a particular way and will not change their behavior until the covenant itself
is removed or changed.
Is changed. Yeah. The Queen, as a sovereign being, owes no explanation to her subjects.
And that's true. That's why yes, that's so.
Our government behaved just like the Queen. They owe no explanation to us. They give no explanation.
They do whatever feels right.
They do, absolutely. They behave in the model of the sovereign being that once had the gumption to say they own Jamaica, they own land, they own people.
And I want those who are listening to us not to miss that point. It's a very, very, very important point. So that is why there must be a genuine move to change this covenant. Interesting as you talk about that, it was the subject of our Sunday meetings, and I was trying to explain to my children this covenant. That what we have, and they were saying, but now work for me, Daddy. And that is a 15, soon to be 16, 22, 24-year-old saying.
So the people reject the covenant.
Yeah, and the children have rejected it, and that is why a lot of them they do not see here as offering them anything at all. I was explaining to them, under this covenant, we have to pay the creditors first. I said, go read it.
Yeah.
So there's nothing in there for the people.
Nothing for the people. And it seems like successive administrations of government, they know this. When they're out as opposition, tilting at windmills, trying to get into the big house, they seem to have a different perspective, but it's like a spell. Once you get in there and you say cabinet and parliament and so on, it's all gone. You're all now playing to a different tune. It's like the whole mind get messed up, and the pageantry of it, or you know that these symbols and these rituals have meaning. I think it's like a fog goes over the mind collectively, and they all just walk the same.
And they forget. What it really means. Which is why heart. Out of your heart, you will do things. And if you are not very clear before in terms of what is in your heart, what are the things that you value and are important to you, you're going to lose sight. And again, we were talking, but I tell you, some of the times I'm just so amazed at the questions that my children must throw it at me. They're not taking. No,
well, they have covenant with you.
Yeah. They're not taking it. They said, no, man, we need better explanations. And so the whole thing of how important your value system is came again to the fore. They were, and I said to them, guys, this is what is out of this that you see your mother and father operate. We're talking about the covenant of us being married and what it means. And
they wanted to discuss the marriage covenant too.
It was, Daddy, it was serious, and how you choose your partner, and it came up because my sons were talking about a relationship with a girl and what it means, and it was amazing. I'm saying to them, okay.
Looks like you learned something.
Learn something.
That's how it looked to me. Looked like the young ones thought that is something.
No, it was amazing. And
It's
what they were
always-
not going to do, and no, not doing this. Expectations, and it was all over the place. But at the end of it, they came back to say, yeah, we understand the whole thing of values, Dali, and expectation. Because even to let it go nationally, the Jamaican people have an expectation that because we're in covenant with our government, they would behave a certain way.
Yes, that expectation is still there.
Yes.
And the disappointment is palpable.
Yes,
It's like a beating heart.
You can feel it.
You feel it everywhere. You're feeling it. I'm feeling it too. This government is faithless. It's one of the things that I wanted to draw my sword on this morning and got the instruction to stay. Let God deal with it. But, there are some things that should have been done, even things that came up in court when we were in court recently, promises that have been made because of the state of things. And, I'm not even going to go into it. I'm just saying that they don't keep faith. And the dishonesty of it and the lack of integrity is very, very troubling. I know you were looking at the Buggery law results on the paper this morning. Buggery should no longer be a criminal offense. Somehow that question made its way into the poll that Don Anderson was doing for the RJR Gleaner group.
Before you go to this law,
Yes.
it speaks to lack of faith that you spoke about and expectations of justice and doing what is right. And you see the agony in this man's face. Like it was coming from deep.
So Pastor is talking about a picture on one of the papers, front page, of the uncle of Donnelly Donaldson, who is at the front of a protest, captured before the parish court on Monday, yesterday, when Constable Noel Maitland's bail application came up. It's been further delayed until September 16. The protest continues because the family is saying no bail for Mr. Maitland. And the covenant, the Constitution says that Mr. Maitland is entitled to bail unless some conditions. So he can't even get a hearing. And that is another. And we're seeing this is definitely one to watch. I said it would be our
tipping point.
Yes, but I want to use the name of the American man who was killed in I Can't Breathe.
Okay. All
Black
right.
Lives Matter. Remind me of his name?
Floyd.
I said that Donnelly is going to be our Floyd.
Okay.
And I see that the people are pushing, and I applaud them for it, and they should push. Let's see what the system of justice, let's see the true metal of this system of justice. Can it be bullied? Can it be persuaded? Does it have a heart? Because a number of things are happening. There's the missing girl, body still not found. There's a man who has been charged with her murder. Only one person has been charged, when it would seem to me at least others are likely to be involved, given all the stories that are out there. The man stands accused of a crime. He's entitled to bail. His bail application can't leave the ground. The prosecution made a very novel move yesterday. The judge called it novel. It didn't seem all that novel to me, but the judge called it novel. Prosecution said some of the witness statements that I would normally disclose, I can't disclose because the investigation is still continuing and it may prejudice the case.
Okay, so it's time for the break.
We got it's 2 minutes past the break. I don't have a war, I'm just fighting my producer. Let's take our break.
A difference you can hear, a difference you can feel.
Best FM 100 on your dial. Keep listening.
At the heart of the Bureau of Standards Jamaica BS is the goal of ensuring that consumers have access to the best quality products. Various divisions and testing facilities provide business operators the means to determine whether their goods and services meet both local and international standards. As part of efforts to ensure the agency offers the best services to its customers, 4 of the BSJ's laboratories were accredited to the ISO IEC 170-2017 international standard. These are the aggregates, concrete and masonry, cement, and energy efficiency testing laboratories. They were all validated by the Jamaican National Agency for Accreditation, JANAC.
Being accredited provides formal recognition of our competence to perform specific tests using internationally recognized processes and standards, and this increases our credibility nationally. Our customers can also be assured that our measurement results are accurate, precise, and traceable.
Director of the BSJ's Metrology and Testing Division, Hudson Hunter. Mr. Hunter says the construction and testing laboratory is the first of its kind in the English-speaking Caribbean to receive that accreditation.
These achievements are indeed monumental and are the results of dedicated teamwork. My team and I express appreciation to the Jamaican National Agency for Accreditation for the efficient and professional execution of the accreditation assessment of the laboratories. We remain committed to maintaining our accreditation and providing quality service to our clients.
BSA Director of Metrology and Testing Division, Hudson Hunter. Minister of Industry, Investment and Commerce, Senator Orvin Hill, says the recent accreditation exercise brings to 8 the number of BSJ labs certified by JANAC.
The accreditation of these labs will now support the industry in ensuring that the tests that are done on the construction products and materials will improve the quality of buildings, roads, and bridges in Jamaica.
He says the accreditation will have a positive effect on the construction and transportation industries and ensure that quality building materials are used in Jamaica.
Some of you might recall the horrific collapse of Chaplain Towers, South Condominium Complex near Miami, Florida, 2021, and unfortunately, where 98 people died and dozens others were injured. A similar, though less fatal accident, still very bad for us, occurred in Jamaica, October 26, 2020, when a 3-story commercial building in Manchester collapsed following days of heavy rain. That tells you somebody didn't do the standards right. Rain shouldn't take down concrete and steel.
Consumers will also benefit from the accreditation, as they will have access to energy-efficient appliances that meet the standards of the relevant certifying bodies.
The work of the BSJ Energy Efficiency Laboratory will allow entrepreneurs to test new products being introduced to the market to ensure that they meet requirements before they're manufactured locally or imported. The lab's accredited tests determine the extent to which products such as refrigerators, freezers, wine chillers, and room air conditioners meet rigorous safety and energy efficiency standards.
Minister of Industry, Investment and Commerce, Senator Orvin Hill. President of the Incorporated Master Builders Association, Lenworth Kelly, also welcomed the lab accreditations, adding that it will have a positive impact on the local construction industry.
Within the construction industry, maintaining material specifications is critical to the delivery of the end product. As a matter of fact, for construction contracts, if the materials specifications are not met, whether process or just testing at the end, the works will be rejected and instructed to be redone.
With the BSJ hard at work overseas industries, business owners and consumers can rest assured that the products they purchase meet local and international standards going forward. For more information about the work of the Bureau of Standards Jamaica, visit www.bsj.org.jm. I'm Andre Palmer. Thank you for listening.
A production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.
A difference you can hear, a difference you can feel.
Best FM 100 on your dial. Keep listening.
One and one.
When there is a warning, button down, tie down, everything. Lift up pencil and furniture off the ground. Secure your valuable items. If you wanna boat, secure it on land and turn on your yard. If you a fisherman, make sure you turn off every breaker. And before you sleep, turn off your generator. Flooding, that is a real danger. If you live a gully bank or low line area, if you see flood waters are rising, get out. Heed the warning. If your land stopping and a sliding, get out. Heed the warning. Hurricanes gonna happen, so be prepared.
A message from the office management.
Half of you, one and boss, how you do take taxi style?
I know. I want to say, 2 months now, my transmission mash up now and check everybody. I can't hear nothing positive.
Yeah, hear me? Yeah, waste all that time I shop around and never call the experts. Winters Auto have them. Them have over 35 years of experience and they diagnose a problem and get back a transmission brand new with the service excellent and efficient. Trust me, man. Yeah, hear me? Call them at 929-7040 or go to them at 106 Maxfield Avenue, Kingston 13 and talk directly to the boss. Just tell them I'm me, say,
wow, you big star. Yeah, man, respect my boss.
I try calling you, cause just me.
Wait, social spares and repairs. Good afternoon.
What a relief.
For a better choice in all your electric dealer and better brand names, B, better service including free island-wide delivery, C, all major credit and debit cards accepted. It's ABC Electrical Sales, shop number 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10, open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. We make your electrical jobs as easy as ABC. Call 754-382-48 or fax 543-659. ABC Electrical Sales for a better choice.
Look to clean your vehicle super clean. 123 Clean Car Wash. Located at 2.25 Husband Road, Kingston 10. Enter on Grove Road below Tropical Battery. They wash and vacuum under car wash, engine wash, polish and pound. Shampoo and detailing. Call them at 876-631-3400. 123 Clean Car Wash. The best in business for a cleaner wash.
So easy. Best 100 FM is the authentic voice of Jamaica, promoting your prosperity with better vibes and better music. Let us promote your goods and services for you. Advertise with us. For more information, call our office at 876. That's 276-8935.
The Morning Connection is not your usual talk show. We aim to stimulate discussion and chart new paths to self-empowerment. So please join us, Minette and Percy, on the Morning Connection, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Best 100 FM.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats.
Welcome back to the Morning Connection. Thank you, Earl, for that tongue-in-cheek comment. I think he's congratulating me on fabricating my own war. He understands. Warrior side.
Earl is really a character, you know.
He has sense of humor.
A great one. He sent me a picture. It's always the man of that picture.
The spicy, the one to be spicy hot up in the show.
Maybe what about the one that
was arrested for sugar in a net, like a net at the concert. Yeah, but that really. It's hard to discuss it without showing the picture. So it's not good for radio. It's good for TV. That's my excuse, Earl. Yeah, but I want to look at the state of justice and to refer to the two things which have made news. One is, of course, the question that was put to populace in the recent poll: should the border laws be changed? And the other is what is happening in Mr. Midland's case. I have had this issue with Mr. Donnelly as the equivalent of Black Lives Matter and our push against the workings of the justice system. I'll say the program and we love her, so it's a fair exchange. And here's what I want to say. I identified 4 things, Pastor, that I want us to just touch on, because these things are happening and makings are forming opinions, and maybe if we're doing what we normally do, we're beginning to talk about it. And this talking about it is prelude to doing something about it. We know the background to it. Beautiful young girl disappears under circumstances that pointed at her boyfriend, possibly another love interest that he had. The family, as soon as she knew she was missing, they were pressing, and the law enforcement was,
dragging.
Yes, lackadaisical, secretive, silent in their response. Not what you want when you know that a young woman is in danger. No, she's in danger because everything points to it. Eventually, is arrested, and from all the reports, you can intuit that the police were doing something. Even while family was protesting and thought the police were doing nothing, by the dates and references in the subsequent disclosures, you can tell that they were doing something. Now the man is in jail awaiting due process. The first part of it is his right to bail. And notwithstanding all of the media public outcry, he still is presumed innocent.
Correct.
So that's the first thing I need to look at, the rights of the accused. Every accused person, and God forbid that you should ever have to know these rights intimately, but every accused person enjoys what in law is called the presumption of innocence. And that has foundation in divine law, in scripture, if you want to get the heart of it. No one knows the heart of man except God.
Mm-hmm.
So you can never say with certainty that a man stands guilty of this or that. Sometimes even when he comments to it, which he may not understand fully, and confess to one crime when he is guilty of none. So the presumption of innocence is something that we have enshrined in our covenant arrangements. Mm-hmm. He's also entitled to due process. Mm-hmm. Due process just means whatever treatment he is entitled to receive under law, that's due to him. And the process which he is due is, one, to have a bail application before the court, for him to be brought before the court in reasonable time, and for him to make and receive the best consideration of an application that he be released because he's presumed innocent, so that he regain his freedom until trial takes place. The other part of due process is that he is tried with dispatch. Don't keep him languishing. Well, all that is a joke in Jamaica, where persons can languish under accusation and charges for years before it is resolved. So that one is a joke, that you can be tried with reasonable dispatch. And reasonable is not outlandish.
And that is something that even is speak about in the Bible. So do it quickly. Don't wait. Yes.
And that's in everybody's interest, not just for the person who's actually under distress, but all for society that needs to get a clear direction on how certain offenses are to be treated, so that you can govern your own actions, teach children, show what can happen if you go this way or that.
That is why a lot of people said, I'm going to do one for the big.
If they catch me, it's going to take 10 years. So one of the things that was in my crowd this morning when I was drawing my sword is that for 2 years, certain of us have been accused of doing something unlawful. There's no evidence to support it. The government knows there's no evidence, and they have maliciously persisted with this thing. And in the same breath, what is yours, because they say you're acting without a license, the license fee they collect, they still have it and have us before the court. That's one of the things that angered me. I said that should never be. Anyway, God has spoken. So the right of the accused are important, and due process means things being dealt with reasonable expedition. So this delay in the hearing, just the hearing of the bail application, the brief his rights. Mm-hmm. The second part that I want to raise is, what then is the duty of the prosecution? Because the prosecution represents us, our interest as civil society, in seeing that these things are done properly. The prosecution has a right to make disclosure. I was going to say full, but let's just say disclosure. Prosecution must disclose to the accused person all the information on why he's before the court, face his accuser. So he must know who has accused him. So witness statements, become a part of what should be disclosed.
Mm-hmm. One person can't come and say this. You have to have two. Yeah.
Absolutely. So they have like 9 witness statements. Them gone past the 2. But they also have to ensure that the witnesses who step forward to participate in the process are protected.
Remember yesterday with the gentleman?
Yes. From witness protection. That's why I'm talking about it this morning. Because in the Maitland case, the prosecutor says, I have a duty to disclose, I know. I had already done sufficient disclosure, the judge commented on it too. But already one witness is being treated, has been interfered with.
Are you kidding?
And I'm afraid now to give more information because the safety of those witnesses is at risk. Now remember, the accused man is supposed to know who accused him. And the prosecutor is supposed to get citizens to speak up and participate. And the prosecutor is saying, when I give information, I place the citizens at risk. And Justice Santa the other day was chastising people who are not coming forward to participate in the process. And the man in witness protection became public yesterday to say, I stood up, I participated, and they shafted me and now treat me like a madman. They drove me into madness and are treating like a madman. We're going. You see the common wrong right there?
Yeah.
Okay. But in all this, Mr. Maitland has a constitutional right to petition the court for his freedom while this thing is working its way through the system. Then you come to the other side of the public now, the victims. The family, still hurt from the loss and the insult to their beloved family member, are pressing vocally. They ran a protest at court yesterday. So you now, and society has to acknowledge that the victims, which includes the survivors, the victims have a presence and a right, and they are not to be silenced. Then you come to the role of the judge. And what did the judge do? Because the judge is the one who has to strike a balance between all of the above competing rights. The judge adjourned the man's bail application. I didn't even talk about the defense lawyer, because the defense lawyer is the hand, mouth, foot, brain of the accused person. The defense lawyer in this case, I think, needs to reconsider, because the defense lawyer came out saying, I can't make an application without this information that is missing. But when she does that, she actually prejudices her client's rights, because he is presumed innocent. And if he comes before the court in good time and there's no information from the prosecution, that would mean she's entitled to bail, because the allegations against him have not been set forth in the usual way. It would mean there's no evidence.
But then the prosecution is saying there's evidence, but look what married.
Now, the problem is, he, Maitland, can be punished for the act of person outside, unless they can show that he set that in motion. Maybe it's just his own loved ones, because they're victims too. They would be saying they're victims of an unfair charge or unjust persecution of their family member. They may say, he loved the girl. He never hurt her. Whatever happened, the police had it wrong. You have the wrong man. So they could be doing things independent of him, yet he's the one sitting in jail.
You know what?
So a good judge can strike a balance between those. We are in serious problems.
My dear sister.
The easiest thing, for a judge would have been to say to the prosecution, if you cannot live up to your obligations under the law, then you can pose bail. And prosecute the defense lawyer should be saying, he's innocent. If he cannot put up information they have against him, he should have the benefit of the doubt.
But,
and the judge could also look at the protest going on at the prison gate or the gate and say, it's not safe. I can't send him out there. There are just so many options when you apply the law, where instead of adjournment, and you could have actually got a decision is keeping the law.
You need the wisdom, sister.
That's right.
You need the wisdom. Your wisdom is like a Solomon.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. And that's why I broke down in that way, because with strong judges, we need defense lawyers of maturity and expertise. We don't have nearly enough of those. Because those are, and the prosecutor must have the integrity and the competence to do and take decisions, applying the law in a just way. Those are the areas failing, and the only people who are doing the right thing is the victims. They're doing the right thing. They must press. They must pull out of the system. This is where you say, I will take what is mine. The audacity, shameless audacity, show everywhere. Let your voice be heard.
When to do that more issues. I'm just reflecting on the producer yesterday. Remember greed and fear, right?
Yes.
Greed and fear are operational in this whole scenario again. Fear narrative, because we know of persons, you may see it played out on television, see where somebody has been accused wrongly, and the prosecution has suggested information that comes out later, and this, but you see an innocent man in prison.
Yes. The General Legal Counsel made a ruling against a prosecutor who she was on secondment to Turks and Caicos. Yes, that same lady, and they disbarred her. I think they disbarred her.
It was in the paper last week.
Yes, they disbarred her for prosecutorial misconduct, the handling of a case.
With somebody,
Yes, where prosecutors hide information or have information which they know could be exculpatory.
What does that mean?
Yes, because I just hear my friend down in Santa Cruz say, what did Mr. say? If you have information which could cause the person to be freed from the charge, a complete defense that would keep them free from liability for any wrongdoing. If you have such information as a prosecutor and you do not disclose it to the defense, that is misconduct on your part. So when the police exculpate.
Yes.
So yes, you're not a culprit.
Yes. Okay.
Yes. So you become an exculpate. Exculpate you. Right. What means when we talk about this, I said it earlier, that prosecution has a duty to disclose information to the defense. When the police investigate, so let's talk about police. When the police investigate, police don't investigate in order to find evidence to convict somebody. Police investigate to find truth.
That's what it should be.
Well, that's even if they misconduct themselves and do something else, they've done wrong.
Right.
But what they are to do. So when you make a complaint to the police, and some of our policemen have a habit of trying to tell you that they're trying to determine the case based on what you complain about. Or they start to tell you, oh, that is not criminal, that is civil, or that is not fraud, that is something else. They don't take your information and investigate. They try to apply their own wisdom. Yeah. They are supposed to take your complaint, go into the field, and begin to investigate, find out, inquire into what you have complained about. When they do so, they're going to get statements from persons who may be for you or against your complaint. They're supposed to take all of them.
And then it comes to the court.
When it comes to the prosecution, no. The prosecution may get statements, and there may be, in one or two statements, things that the witness is saying, which can help the defense. Their duty is to give those statements to the defense. In other words, you may say, all right, I have 20 statements. 10 people clearly say they saw something.
They saw with Minute on the night after.
3 people say, it did look like Minute. There's another girl from Top Hill that really, every time I mix them up, it could have been her. That goes to identity.
Okay.
The police are supposed to then take those statements, give them to the prosecution, and the prosecution should hand them to the defense and say, well, these 9 people are sure it's Minette, but 3 people here who say Minette have a twin, and many times people mistake them.
Wow.
They're supposed to give it, not suppress them. The prosecution can say, I'm not calling those 3 witnesses because they would cast doubt. So it's okay for you to say those are not best witnesses, but you have to give them over to the defense. It's a wonderful world if people actually did that.
We know that in reality most times that doesn't happen.
Most they don't. The carousel is like a minefield for these kinds of things. When police came into carousel, they locked up everybody who was in the office. They kept them, they detained them in the office, and they took statements. And these 2 persons told me, we told the police that we answered to so and so, and there are no statements from those persons in the statements which the prosecution disclosed to us. And I've asked for them repeatedly, and the prosecution just comes back to me and say, the police said this is all they have. Misconduct. Let's take a break.
We do. Great George Street Pharmacy. Shop number 897 Great George Street, Lamar, Westmoreland. Opening hours, Monday to Saturday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Call us at 876-603-772 or WhatsApp us at 876-205-0499. Yes, we have reliable health care for you at Great George Street Pharmacy, Sabah Lamar.
Printers for all your print needs. We specialize in calendars, flyers, brochures, and more. Call today at 968-7506. That's 968-7506. Or visit us at 4 East Bloomberg Road, Old Hag Park Road. Printers, your choice in print.
Looking to clean your first super clean? 123 Clean Car Wash. Located at 2 1/4 Auburn Road, Kingston 10. Entrance on Grove Road, below Tropical Battery. They wash and vacuum, on carriage wash, engine wash, polish and compound, shampoo and tilling. Call them at 876-631-3400. 123 Clean Car Wash. The best in the business for a cleaner wash.
1, 2, 3. Believe me, it's so easy. 1, 2, 3.
Let not your hearts be troubled. Just believe in God Almighty and daily renew the mind. So even this time when faith more value degree, life prefer truth, unnatural but not the natural. This is Lady Donna, aka Double D Donna, with a new song, Mighty Jah. Encouraging you to keep the faith. God will make a way. Get your copy today. It's on all digital platforms. Lady Donna official on Instagram, Facebook, AsujaRecords.com. For bookings, Asuja Record label at Gmail. Almighty Jah.
The Morning Connection is not your usual talk show. We aim to stimulate discussion and chart new paths to self-empowerment. So please join us, Minette and Percy, on The Morning Connection, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on 100 FM.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats.
Oh, welcome back. And I'll be saying welcome back to Percy in a minute because he just ran out, so it's just me. Carrying on with my discussion on the state of justice. The state of justice goes to the heart of a complaint that citizens have today, because the administration of justice, which you know on this program, covers every public service or good that is available to citizens, whether it's housing, medical care, due process in the court of law, economic opportunities in forms of licenses and authorizations, government contracts, whatever it is that comes out of our government, whatever it is that comes out of the common resources shared, including the benefits of our environment, where it is in the area of mining, access to the beach, just making it clear that the administration of justice touches and concerns everything that we share in our human family and our community. how developments are done, which land is developed for tourism versus for farming. It means that where you live, where you choose to live, has some intrinsic value that can change or be disturbed depending on how the government decides to treat your environment. If government decides to move a dump into your neighborhood, a garbage disposal site into your neighborhood, that's an issue that you will feel that you are either unjustly treated or that some right that you haven't enjoyed is being disturbed. Those are all issues that are going to come up in the cry for justice. I'm just making it clear, because many of us think that when people say we want justice, it means that the police has done something or a judge has done something. But cry for justice goes to the heart of just about everything that we enjoy in communal living. Access to food, water, roads. I mean, we saw in yesterday's paper the situation with the bridge into the community of Troy that has not been restored. Impact that it is having on now children about to go back to school. It is a cry for justice. And every day we are looking at these things that are happening in our communities, and we're searching to see the fairness in the administration or the distribution of these common goods. And we are struggling to understand what is our government is really doing, what our neighbors are doing when they seek to enjoy their rights and exploit the environment for their benefit and prosperity. Every time that it touches us, it's about justice.
And it's amazing. As we went into the break, just the simple cry for individuals to say, do what is right for me as you do for yourself. And we can't get away from the fact that how we relate to each other on an individual basis is about you. And then, okay, it moves from the individual to the community to the government. And if you believe you do not receive justice in terms of how the power that be the government or different people deal with you, you are not going to be a very happy camper or a very happy individual. And we can't get away from it, you know.
No.
We can't get away from it, which is why you will hear me parroting. I become a part with it. The whole themes of just righteousness and justice and truth and mercy, those impact us in every single area of our lives. We can get from this, you know. We can get from justice issues. And I really hope that you're getting it in terms of at an individual level, in terms of how you deal with you minute or deal with person. Let us seek to be just and fair with each other, which is why Micah 6:8 resounds today. He has shown me, oh man, what is good and that the Lord requires of me, of you. It's just simple cry for justice and mercy and to honor God and work humbly. And as you did the humble part, and it says to be a humble person is to have a right understanding of yourself, not too puffed up, too puffed down,
poofed out,
but just a simple good understanding of yourself. And another nation jumped out of me is a Romans passage where it says, be not conformed, but be transformed by renewing of your mind. You know, following after those two verses, says that every person must have a right understanding of themselves.
Yes, and the right understanding of yourself begins with saying how small I am and how great God is.
Yeah.
So I am always submitted.
Yeah. I'm always walking with that tension in my mind. You know? I have not forgotten when you went into the oaths and the vows. That spoke volumes to me. It is still resounding in my head when you say, but this man was so happy.
No, he's not submitted.
Yeah.
He swears by himself.
Yeah, so if you swear by yourself, then you're really in a problem. And this is why I think we're in problems. Because if they had said, I swear by me, I'm not accountable to nobody. That's what it means. You know?
Yeah.
I'm not accountable to anybody but myself.
That's the sovereignty that we were discussing. and it's true. That's the first statement of independence and individuality. I am not accountable to anyone. The second now is where you enter into covenant. That's why first you've got to understand that you are complete in yourself and responsible and can take decisions for yourself. But when you enter into a covenant, you then become accountable and answerable to someone. And that's where this morning I started off looking at that, because I really am seeking to pull out and just flush out that understanding of why when we elect a government, we must insist on certain things, and why they in turn are obligated, cannot do otherwise than to give it. And we must empower ourselves to follow through with that. We're the ones who have broken covenant, you know. We are what?
It's a doom and below you 2 to 5% of the great pack anytime. So that's the man. Now we can do anything we want to do.
So we have within us that rebel spirit to set our own if the one that is set over us don't think it's working. Here we are in Jamaica, it's not working. We know it's working every day, we complain to one another, say it now work. But that's where we stop. We've not made that move now into breaking it down and creating for ourselves what works.
Yeah. And what does work and what has brought righteousness exalt the nation?
Sin is a reproach.
Me see the mark.
Yeah.
Doing all things is become a reproach, and it is manifested in a lot of the things that we are seeing today.
You know, every time I think about Bank of Jamaica's independence, I recognize that there's something in it that we should watch more closely. Because the central bank, being independent of Parliament, that's why I'm thinking it, because it's no longer it's an agency. I've forgotten how they achieved their independence. But suffice to say, their policy isn't set
by government.
By government, it is set by the governor of the bank. Exactly the method by which they achieve their independence. I must look back at it. But they are independent. And I've noticed that Mr. Basson, they're independent and they're ruled by a prince who has operated at higher levels all the time than every minister of government, including the minister of finance.
Yeah, that was CEO
of a company whose balance sheet was always healthier than the balance sheet that they got. Is that if you put it up as a war between altars or a war between balance sheet, they have always been healthier. Always. LJ had their moment.
LJ went down.
Yes, and then Sagicor, they took in Barbadian white money.
It was Barbadian white money.
Sagicor, yeah, they invest Barbados. So they have old colonial money tied up in their balance sheet now, which allows them to be healthier than government of Jamaica. So pound for pound, they sit in a room. We know who's going to blink first. I know Mr. Biles ain't blinking. Just to be clear, I don't think Nigel or Minister of Finance is equal to Mr. Biles, man to man, sitting in a room having a conversation and going through points and saying, I want to go left and I want to go right, and you want to find what would be the point of consensus. My opinion, I don't think Mr. Biles is going to say, oh, I think we're right, Mr. Minder.
We've been blinking for now.
Yes. And we see it. That's not just random speculating on my part. We see it. But Jamaica takes a direction that is contrary to what the government is saying. So right now, DOJ is warning of inflation that could derail growth, while somewhere else, somebody in government is talking about growth. So as a headline.
We're talking about growth.
Celebrating growth. We are on track for growth. You've been seeing them.
Oh, that?
Yeah. Well, right above it, BPO workforce on target to 75,000 by 2025. God forbid, because they're not taking care of the people. BOJ warned inflation could derail growth prospects. I mean, even on the same page, you can see Bank of Jamaica came out, say that they do anticipate that homes are going to be hard hit by the increase in interest rates because they know that the banks are going to just pass it on. And I'm seeing in the war between princes, I'm trying to determine
we will win.
Who will win.
We will win.
Well, meaning the is not ours, it's the Lord.
Right, but we will win because it is going to have the confusion will emerge a new consensus for Jamaica.
Let it be so.
Yeah, it does. I speak it. Yeah, we will win.
But those contending positions and the continued tension that we're seeing on the policy side in how government is arranging things and executing, I'm going to call it the macro level. We're seeing that, but down the field, at the micro level where you and I live,
a totally different reality.
Totally different reality. Yesterday, and I'm just going to make an appeal. I've been encouraging, there's a group I'm a part of, Hallelujah Ministers International, Pastor Lucao's South African Church is establishing a branch in Jamaica. Lo and I are very fortunate to be a part of that effort. I mean, I courted that church like you would court a young girl in the day when you were courting. I saw them, fell in love with what they're doing. I said, Lord, could this be in Jamaica? I think it would be a blessing in Jamaica because, the vision and how they operate. And that was in 2019. And here we are, 2022. 2 weeks later, I went to South Africa twice to pursue that dream. Long distance relationship.
2 dates, I understand.
2 dates later, it's a reality.
You're married.
So the families who have been displaced by the fire in central Kingston, I don't know, that's just touched my heart in such a. I know there were fire bombs in Gregory Park, and that's appalling and terrible. But I don't know, something about hearing 30 persons having left homeless by a fire in central Kingston, and the number has grown because they went back and burned out and did it again. It just touched my heart in a very, very profound way. So I mobilized members of the Hallelujah Ministries International Home Cells across the island, and There's been an outpouring of support, and we made a delivery to the Allentown Anglican Church is one of the collection points. If you have donations, and they need everything. If you can imagine, fire burn out everywhere. They have everything.
In Allentown, we've got.
Yeah. Back to school supplies, of course, are critical. We were due to get a contribution from STEM Uprising. Their shipment was raided. 400 school bags missing from their shipment of 888. Just an atrocity at this time.
They said they've got any call from the customs or anything?
No, I told you that Nisa put it on Twitter, and someone from customs responded and deleted the response this day in the morning. They respond to say, they're not at fault and so on and so forth, and everybody down on them. Of course, she screenshot it. Hey.
Yes.
This is her generation, and if you could think about taking a picture of it, you must know that she took a picture of it, as you put, she took a screenshot. So if you have the capacity, and all of us do, pizza spoon, plate, a cup, sardine, corned beef, a bag of rice, they need food. They need food, they need shelter, and they need clothing and supplies, just to be able to. Listen, I'm gonna find out today because I spoke with someone there, and they're gonna do a distribution today. I'm going to find out. I think they're catching
all over the place.
Yeah. But while at the church yesterday, we met a man who said 3 years ago, was it, or 4 years ago? Who remembers? Was it 4 years ago or 3 or 4 years ago? There was a fire which cost him his home and everything that he owned as well, and he says he is only just now in a place trying to pay rent. He was homeless. He says no help. He was homeless. He said to me, he said, you can wear one suit of clothes, figure out how you're going to make it work, but you can't do without food. And you can't do without shelter. You have to have a place to lay your head. So those are the real priorities. It's wonderful to be rebuilding wardrobe, and people have to go to work and need to be able to dress and go to work. They need these things too, but they always, you must have food. So the next call is one of the ladies from Dayton called me and said, Minette, this is my area. I wanna be a part of the outreach programs that you do, and I am working on putting together a food package.
Okay.
Yeah. So I know some big supermarkets. We need food. Okay. Yeah, we need rice and flour and sugar and milk and everything you can conceive of that would be in your pantry. We need food, and because they don't have secure housing, we also need a place for persons to stay. And I think it'll be organized, coordinated in one location, so you could track of them and their families could reach them, and there can be security, and from there they can be moved to a more permanent housing situation.
I'm just thinking about that. What has happened in terms of the fire and who was behind it, and it continues on. I don't want to cast
aspersions
to anybody. It causes me to reflect, but it is an opportunity for government to respond in a real way.
Yes.
To fix the people, because for poor, they bring in the army engineers, clear the location, put that houses up if you want to, if you need. It's always about way to get stuff done. Same thing with that bridge. We do the things we want to do. Discover that in life. You do things that you want to do that you think are important to you, but it's not going to be that way if we really want to about change in our country in terms of the things that we need to change. Yeah. So let me just thought hallelujah.
Ministers International.
So we continue on with the things.
Our family is growing, Percy. Church family in Jamaica is growing. Whatever name you put on your letterhead, the reality is they're all part of the body of Christ or to serve.
And it goes back to a point. I'm just listening to the call made by the Minister of Education on Sunday. I've continued to think about it, and I'm just seeing a way to coordinate the many people who are wanting to volunteer to work with schools in terms of mentorship. That's a very important thing. How are we going to get that done? Because if the church, the umbrella organizations could say, okay, this is something we can do. There are some of us who have expertise who are willing to train people interested in being trained as mentors to understand what it takes, and so you know what signing up for. So it's something I think we put a tangible thing on the table and say to the government, this is what I think church can do and should do because in every community they say, yeah, bar a church. I think there are more bars than church in Jamaica. Before that, I was coming back from Montego and I said, let me just check it. Somebody was driving and I said, I'll check how many churches I've seen on route. And there were, for every church I saw 3 bars.
All right, so every bar in the church.
You think it's a joke? Is that serious?
Holy preaching gone in the bar. All right, I want to end this because we're coming close up to the mark. I don't want to, So, having spent time with Dr. Julius Garvey, I purchased the book which has been reissued, Philosophy and Opinions of Marcus Garvey, as compiled by Dr. Garvey's mom. Wow. it was quite interesting to kind of be in the presence of somebody with the Harvey DNA.
Are we related to him?
We the Palmers?
My brothers. My
Or
brothers.
we the Palmers? Or tell me who's related.
My not Palmers.
Yeah.
Such. They're two. So
Oh.
they're related to Mark's because I knew my brother's father. And look at him. Same foreign antique photograph. Same way.
All right. Well, let me.
Trace it back.
Okay, so I'm a spiritual daughter because my brother wrote, Minette, you represent Harvey's vision and courage.
Okay.
So this is my birth paper. I was born on the 18th of August. That's the detail. So that's my birth paper. But I want to ask that young Harvey asked, and you can tell how young he was and how brash he was just by the style of the questions. Yeah, I certainly could feel the spirit. After he had come back from Europe, and he had toured the world to see if the plight of that man was the same everywhere. And of course, he discovered that. So it was the black man was not in ascendancy. The black man was very much inclined as he traveled. So he asked, where is the black man's government? Where is his king and his kingdom? Where is his president, his country, and his ambassador, his army, his navy, his men of big affairs? And at the time,
took a checkbook.
You know what I'm saying? Just reading it in his o'clock. And then he went to London, and I guess he spent maybe a year or two there. I've wanted to pass off the timeline, but I felt by this time you could not be more than 25. So it has the tone and the... Yes, man. When I was 25, what? I could rule the world. Let's take a break.
A difference you can hear, a difference you can feel.
Best FM 100 on your dial. Keep listening. Hello, I'm Eileen McHugh with BBC News. Former Malaysian Prime Minister Najib Razak is beginning a 12-year prison sentence after failing in final appeal against his conviction for corruption. He was escorted from the courtroom to jail for theft from a government investment fund known as 1MDB. He was convicted 2 years ago but stayed out of jail while he appealed. Michael Bristow explained how some of the money taken from 1MDB was misused.
It's supposed to raise money through bond sales to fund all kinds of economic development in Malaysia. But what happened was that billions of dollars were simply stolen. Much of it used to fund the lavish lifestyles of those who took it. It even was used to fund a Hollywood film, The Wolf of Wall Street, paintings, real estate in America, all kinds of things. He also faces other charges.
Hundreds of people have gathered in Moscow for a memorial service for Daria Dugina, who was killed by a car on Saturday. She was the daughter of the ultra-nationalist writer Alexander Dugin. More details from Paul Ross.
She lived in the name of victory. She died in the name of victory. That was how Alexander Dugin asked people to remember his daughter. Daria Dugina was known as a nationalist commentator in her own right. She once described a unit of Ukrainian soldiers as non-human, but still many have speculated that it was her father who was the intended target of Saturday's car bomb attack. The Russian authorities blamed Ukraine. Ukraine has dismissed the accusation, but Alexander Dugin's eulogy today said the way to mark his daughter's death was to continue fighting for Russia and for its Christian Orthodox faith.
The United Nations Human Rights Office has said Russia would be committing a war crime if it put captured Ukrainian soldiers on trial. The UN spokeswoman said there was evidence of cages being built at the Philharmonic Hall in Mariupol, which was captured from Ukraine, with the cages apparently intended to restrain prisoners of war during court proceedings. British scientists who found effective COVID treatments have begun trying medication for monkeypox. It's the world's first randomised trial of a treatment for monkeypox. Naomi Grimley reports.
The so-called Platinum trial, led by Oxford University, will aim to recruit at least 500 participants who've just contracted monkeypox. They will either begin an antiviral called tecovirimat or a placebo for 14 days. Their recovery, including how well their skin lesions heal, will be monitored by a team of researchers who hope to publish their findings by Christmas. This trial aims to build on the success of the current drug trials conducted at the height of COVID pandemic.
BBC News. A tropical storm has forced some schools to shut down in the Philippines just a day after they opened again following a 2-year closure because of the pandemic. The President, Ferdinand Marcos, ordered public schools and government offices in the capital, Manila, and the surrounding areas to close for 2 days. The storm has already brought strong winds and torrential rain. The authorities of the Democratic Republic of Congo have declared a resurgence of Ebola following confirmation of a case in the eastern province of North Kivu. A woman died last week in the town of Beni. It's the second outbreak in the country this year. The previous epidemic was declared over just weeks ago. In Lebanon, another large part of damaged grain silos in Beirut port has collapsed. The government has been criticised for neglecting the facility since it was damaged in the port explosion 2 years ago, killed 200 people. Lina Sinjab is in Beirut.
The northern part of the grain silos has collapsed early morning on Tuesday after being on fire for weeks. Earlier this month, the silos started collapsing after being weakened by fire caused by rain fermenting in the summer heat. Now another part has collapsed, creating an enormous cloud of dust that filled the port zone. Sensors on the southern part of silos show no sign of any damage or fire. The government is discussing call for funding to support the remaining silos and repair it.
loneliness and jump. Tributes are being paid on social media to a teenage girl in Algeria who died after rescuing children caught up in recent wildfires. 18-year-old Dunia Bouhassa was a leader rescued dozens of children from Kala National Park in northeast the country. She died while being treated for burns.
A difference you can hear, a difference you can feel.
SFM, keep listening.
Everything lift up items and furniture up down and secure your valuable items. If you wanna put secure it on and honor you, if you a shaman, make sure you turn off every breaker. And before you sleep, off your generator flooding. That is a real danger. If you have a bank or loan line here, yeah. If your floods are rising, get out. Heed the warning. If your lost are slipping and a sliding, get out. Heed the warning. Hurricanes gonna happen.
I'm Assistant Officer of Preparedness and Emergency Management.
One drive,
Jano, I want to tell you, say, at home snow my transmission, mash up, and check everybody and can't hear nothing positive.
You hear me? We all that time I shop on and back expert. Winters all of them. Them have over 35 years of experience, and then there's no problem. And get back a transition brand new. With them service exits efficient. Trust me, man. You hear me? Call them at 929-7040 or got them at 106 Maxfield Avenue, Kingston 13, and talk directly to boss. Just tell them I'm me, send you.
You star, you man, response.
Witness officers and repairs, good afternoon.
What a relief.
Looking to clean your vehicle super clean? 123 Clean Car Wash. Located at 2 Osborne Road, Kingston 10. Entrance on Grove Road, below Tropical Battery. They wash and vacuum, undercarriage wash, engine wash, polish, and compound. Shampoo and detailing. Call them at 876-631-3400. 123 Clean Car Wash. The best in business for cleaner wash.
It's so easy.
Making price for all printing needs, specializing calendars, flyers, blues, and more. Call us today at 968-7506, then 968-7506, or visit us at 4 East Bloomsbury Road, off Hot Pot Road. Visitors, your specialized in printing.
For a better choice in all electrical supplies, A, authorized 3M dealer and better brand name. B, better service including free island-wide delivery. C, all major credit and debit cards accepted. It's ABC Electrical Sales. Shop number 8 Park Plaza, Kingston 10. Open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. We make electrical jobs as easy as ABC. 754-8258 or 754-3659. ABC Electric Sales for a better choice.
Best 100 is the authentic voice of Jamaica. Promoting your prosperity with better and better music. Let us promote your goods and services for you. Advertise with us. For more information, call us at 276-8935. That's 276-8935.
Morning Connection is not your usual talk show. We aim to stimulate discussion and chart new paths to self-improvement. Join us, Minette and Percy, on Morning Connection, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Best 100 FM.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats.
Well, good morning, welcome back. Now I leave, we open the lines for the public to comment and we've spoken about. Or there's anything on your mind that you want us to talk about. So the lines that you can call are 876-619-1508 or the WhatsApp line, which is 876-279-478473. Our symbols, you know that happens. When you have a dictator.
Oh, what you know? Oh, Lord. Or you just need your coffee.
Okay.
Can I speak here of Prime Minister and Minister of Legal and Constitutional Affairs with yes, with family members Tony Hart. Good morning, welcome. Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connect. Yes, I'm Franco.
Are you
hearing? Yes.
Yes, Franco. Good man.
Oh.
Wow.
Good morning. Is there no call? Good morning. I just wanted to express. Michael, be yourself. I feel yours there is when you feel mine. How are you today? I was hearing you.
Franco?
Anyway, I received it to the start. And I thank him for being the first person to call.
So in tribute, lessons we played this morning is the word I am ready, bro.
Oh, that song?
Yes.
The line is on the rise.
The line is on the rise.
Yeah, it's good morning.
Good morning, Smith. I don't know what's going on,
Yeah, but, go ahead and say it. Go ahead and have opportunity because the technology is fighting us.
Yes, Smith. I want to pick up this one thing up.
Dr. Mason, yes.
I'm the first morning here, I'm listening and then tomorrow. And I tell you, I feel the warrior spirit, that creativity, and I tell you, I will not talk about when I have them down when they live with guys who don't do different people than I. I'm down here, I'm in the family and the people are born and go down here. Down here, I mind that everybody's mind down here, down here, in my opinion. So, I'm not saying for that long. I'm down here, I'm going to tell you, so last month, down here, I find out type of condola, type of thing like that, and like, yeah, where,
yes. Yes, yes. I know that kind of behavior.
Yeah, this is the time. Some of the people who are coming on turning several things in the living on the go out and report. But we can just not sort of like them to investigate.
Yeah. Yes. And I tell for just be encouraged and know that there are some battles. As you line up, you know if you do it your way, you're not going to keep your victory. And you have to practice a great level of patience and righteousness just in order to keep your standing. Because one worry and wars, you don't want to fight. You want to help yourself. I know that feeling. But also know that I do it my way. I'm always going to be fighting. And I want peace. And that's a big thing for us to learn in make that. If we only know how to solve it with a sword, then the sword will not leave our house.
So true.
That's why I want to appreciate you. You don't know how to encourage you and you give me appreciate you.
Thank you, my brother. I'll keep it together too.
Yes, sir.
Good morning. Welcome to Morning Connection.
Good morning.
Good morning.
The
buggery. Bugger law. And if people don't even understand what it means, just the name alone sound distasteful. Like I say, let the law stay.
What is that?
Anal penetration of the anus with the sexual genitalia of man.
Oh. If you take laws, rightness of what means
well, you want to remember something about laws, and I try to emphasize each time we speak about it. Man was born free, so there are no laws of righteousness on both. So that's the template. We make a law because we're speaking against something. So laws that you see are about making something criminal that was not considered even legal men until a law comes in place criminalizing it. You have to understand that there's no law that says you must eat and live well. You understand? There's a law that's going to say you cannot use certain drugs or you cannot, do certain things. Those things would be offenses.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. If a good thing, it doesn't make sense, then I make a lot of people do them.
Right.
But it's bad things in the middle sense. So you'll come with a lot to tell people.
But understand now that we don't have a law that addresses everything. We select some things which society places at a high level and say, all the bad things you could do, these are the ones that we're going to make an example of you. We'll penalize you for doing it. What are you talking about, buggery?
All right, yeah, that's something I get. I know the law, the police.
Mm-hmm.
I first got a complaint to the police that somebody has done something.
Yes.
And the police are often man showed me in Nigeria.
The police is supposed to investigate before they got moved.
Investigate before they make.
Yes, yes.
I feel like it's unfair.
It is.
I don't see that person side yet.
It is unfair.
Why does one man talk, one person talk, and show
it is unfair. They're supposed to investigate. There are some situations in which police may take someone in custody, not necessarily because they believe the truth of the report, but the report is such that they need to protect the individual, and when they're doing that, they should make it clear to the person that, listen, you need to come and just say to us first while looking at it because you're in danger. At that time, they're not arresting you. They're taking you into custody, but they should make it clear to you that it is for your safety.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah.
That's thank you. Somebody else. Good morning, caller. How are you?
Hello, good morning. I'm all right.
All right. How are you?
Yeah, actually taking some time out to do some ironing this morning before I leave the house.
What am to lead?
What question is that?
I'm not trouble. Never is a talk about the lady.
Oh, she resigned from Iron.
I did more I like her.
But I want to say money to listeners and labor cars.
Right.
I want to call him African.
Yes.
It's pretty easy there.
Yeah.
You bring tears to my eyes, some things in there. I want to the Africans speech, a powerful speech,
It just makes heart.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's formed part of my meditation this morning before I wake up, One thing about the program, it stimulates thoughts and it encourages you to take a personal responsibility for everything.
Yes, sir.
As I go in on the garden, my mother teach me how to wash, cook, clean, iron.
Same here.
And every domestic role for myself. I can cook something. I can fix a good breakfast and I can cook certain meat. And I know definitely the last 20 years of my existence on this earth, I've been never alone again. for peace of mind and to what is going to come, I have to give up a lot of things in order to maintain my sanity for what is to come. Now, we to by 2040, 2050, in this world, it's not going to be easy for the black person. And let me tell you why. I hear me speak, I hear me stop my phone.
Hi.
No, man.
Oh, my apology. It's the world that you accept me.
I accept your apology. That discussion was a race to the bottom.
Let me tell you this. Let me just tell Jamaica people this briefly. So what's going on in Jamaica for the last IMF review? And I only spoke to that IMF thing with Poisha last week in money win. Most Jamaicans never understand what the GLP did to the country. They walk out of the IMF and Mr. Agboli. The most hardly shy. They never know it. The Jamaican people sitting here that believe it. The Bible was fulfilled. And you will not go and lead them to promise land. And God will help them. And Jesus them friend and Jesus coming to prepare up night days never for them when they're dead. Look here, you believe what you want to believe. But while you're alive, we have to wake up and live with the reality. Let me tell you what doing with the Jamaican people. You see, every time they raise the interest rate 5%, 50 basis points, as they call it, it's really 0.5% and calculator. And they owe $2 trillion in debt, 6 because of this country. Every time they raise the interest rate, just multiply that by 0.5%, and you get $10 billion. They put on the debt without a bridge being built. They just start on that and debt. Because as inflation, I get to suppress what they come on. And I hear it's going to affect mortgage.
It is. It must affect.
Yeah. It's going to affect mortgage, credit card, car loan, all sorts of things that you move from the banking system.
But you know, it was almost like if the bank maker was boasting about, we know you're gonna have a problem, but this is what we're doing.
Yeah.
Because what they're doing, you see, is that they're taking the tax amongst the pigeon and they burn out another generation. They suppress that generation, like my generation. So we have to curtail our ambition that we are going forward in the plans that we have. While retarding generation that is too long because they're not couple enough to buy these houses, these mortgages, buy these houses that they build, you see, while protecting the investment in the government. Because Mr. I was put there for a special purpose. We are here
to safeguard.
That's a contractor to safeguard the interest of the 1% of this country.
But you know, Neville, it is so well known that he is the custodian of the interest of the lenders to the government, that it really is like a receivership. The country is a receivership, and we don't seem to be acknowledged for what it is. When you hand over your central bank to a man who has always been at the top of the Jamaican, I call him a prince of the land, and he is that. He represents big business in the most obvious way. Yeah.
That's what we spoke about.
That's why I was saying, if you them in a room and them having a conversation, who's gonna blink?
But listen to this statement, which underscores that this is by speaking. It says that the financial system remains resilient, pointing out that the deposit-taking institution balance sheets have remained adequately capitalized and in compliance with prudent liquidity standards. It just going what you're saying. That's what they're at the same time.
I tell you something. Here's what they're going to learn. Unless the bank can take up the house and put them in a them room.
Yeah.
Unless the bank can take up every car they lend money to buy and put it in a parking lot. Unless they can take our bodies and put it into their balance sheet, they have a very stiff wake-up call coming. And I know that Jamaica is with me on this. Me know
I think we're encouraging the persons who have money in their financial institution. The Balfin Sakut 20 years later.
It will not come.
And I'll know them not publish it, but the friends, Mr. Inky is going to publish it. They will take away your money in the bank in what they call bailing it. Because the government cannot bail them out again in the digital world that is coming in. Because look here, Sinead.
You agree with it.
Yeah,
you work together on the ground.
Responsibility for your money and your resources. Because somebody invest your resources because you know. I hear them to me as such a corner. Let me just tell you the business.
We have 1 minute. Yes.
I have a $2 million investment in South Dakota that covers for 9 diseases. 9 of the major diseases like stroke, heart attack, FKR, and all of those things. I hope that thing is that the folks can get to carry on as part of our portfolio. You say we stay alive by 2025. Hello?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
You say we stay alive by 2025. The policy has mature. You know what such a core again after 2025 when it mature? Not $2 million, 800,000. That new policy much them just take back the $1.2 million off for themselves. That's what you never got.
Right.
So
it's better for you to die, Neville.
Yeah.
So it's better for you to die.
Hallelujah. We live in our country now.
Yes. Yeah.
We live in our country. Did you know that one of the cars, I hear you say me shut down the central bank classes?
Yes, I want to see how
one
they
of the
got
cars that is in that contract. The government can't get no money out of the central bank unless you have what they call a major catastrophe. Can you imagine that?
Well, NHT should have that.
If you have a Hurricane Gilbert, you have to have something like a Hurricane Gilbert before the government can go take money out of the central bank.
Yeah.
You would have more than the people and say like all me with such a core now. You know, if you get $2 million, you fit dead.
Okay.
As long as you're alive, you have to live off it, boy.
Stay put for me. We have to take our break, Neville.
All right.
You keep up the good work. And African, anywhere in the world you're there. Big up, my brother.
All right.
Okay.
All right, let's go break.
A difference you can hear, a difference you can feel.
Better 100 on your dial.
People are you listening?
Choose to remain at home after an evacuate order has been issued. You do so at your own risk. Get down!
Heed the warning.
For a better toss in all your electrical supplies. A. Authorized 3M dealer and better brand names. B. Better service including free island-wide delivery. C. All major credit and debit cards accepted. It's ABC Electrical Sales. Shop number 8, Hegley Park Plaza, Kingston 10. Open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. We make your electrical jobs as easy as ABC. Call 754-382-528 or fax 754-3659. ABC Electrical Sales for a better choice.
Veteran Printers for all your printing needs, specializing in calendars, flyers, brochures, and more. Call us today at 968-7506. That's 968-7506. Or visit us at 4 East Bloomsbury Road, Park Road. Veteran Printers, your best choice in printing.
Looking to clean your vehicle super clean? 123 Clean Car Wash. Located at 2 Osborne Road, Kingston 10. Entrance on Grove Road, below Tropical Battery. They wash and vacuum, undercarriage wash, engine wash, polish and compound. Shampoo detailing. Come at 878-631-3400. 123 Clean Car Wash. The best in the business for a cleaner wash.
1, 2, 3. It makes it so easy. 1, 2, 3.
Half a tree. When I drive, half a tree. Pass it. Oh, you got the taxi there?
Jano, I want to tell you, say, 2 months now, my transmission mash up, and I check everybody and can't hear no positive.
Yeah, hear me? Yeah, wait all that time shop down and never call the experts. Winters Auto have them. Them have over 35 years of experience and then diagnose the problem and get back transmission brand new. Flame service excellent and efficient. Trust me, man. Yeah, hear me? Call them 929-7040 or go to them at 106 Maxfield Avenue, Kingston 13 and talk directly to the boss. Just tell them I'm me send you.
You big star. Yeah, man. Respect boss.
You're trying to call, you can't trust me.
Wait, Auto Spares and Repairs. Good afternoon.
What a relief.
Morning Connection is not your usual talk show. We aim to stimulate discussion and chart new paths to self-empowerment. So please join us, Minette and Percy, on the Morning Connection, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Best 100 FM.
It's good. It's better, but nothing beats.
Good morning and welcome back to the caller on the line. Thank you for holding. Good morning. Good morning. Yes.
Take away your chief joy. And you see, when you do that now, you can't see whatever it is, and you can't see and you cannot have someone else validate your existence.
True.
And so that's why Rastaman and love it so hard. We must say, not can't show you spiritually right out. Anyway.
Yes.
I was never still listening. I'm going to love all of them get the book. Name The Creature of Jekyll by G. Edward Griffin. Honorable Empress, you see, I am on the World Bank. I want big quantity. What is the difference between exchange and crown and anchor and span beating? What is the difference?
Tell us something. You have here, you know. Tell us what you think the difference is.
It's none. I only say when we do it, But when them hyper routine, it good.
Not only that, they have all kind of high price people who calculate the odds. It's no difference. Yeah. In fact, yeah, you're on a you're on a roll.
One year back, I went out to that again. You see, when I was in the my brother first teach the money, I was like, everything about to go free, just like the birds and the bees and the flowers and the trees. We have to pay a fee, but presentation, that can be doing kind of word from radio. It's something. You see, the person out there, I said, I will hear what happened. You see, middle class, they were set to gather the money from the poor people and carry from them. But the middle class got smart now and rinse it out 5 times before
yeah.
Yeah, understand? So when you look now in middle class, I buy everybody in, it's not saying, no man, you have to go to the middle class. Start to tax them out of the business. I want game and play Empress. I want game. You see, it was Rockefeller and them. This other name, what is his name again? We didn't start this is grand Ponzi scheme. We didn't take over.
You mean the Fort Knox?
They actually like a banking cartel. We take over the financial system and come with the Federal Reserve. Yet the federal government has no jurisdiction over them.
Okay.
Which is what what is emerging with our Jamaica or central bank.
That's why I'm pointing out because the dub plate, they're in Europe and the version. So I just didn't hear what is a grand Ponzi scheme. I want bluff. I go and have people try to tell them and say that bluff. I go and when I'm a trickery, I'm taking this big old burden upon we. But we don't. Empress,
yes.
Money,
that's true.
Of course, yeah. Who was it? I've heard.
Rich enough to spend money, them spend poor people money when they deposit. They borrowed poor people money, and you got them now. You see them one.
And now they charge you to deposit your money with them.
Yeah. So it's a plan to keep from the IMF to the World Bank at the same time. And when you take the stock exchange, I see him pattern, I see him cheek card man, I see him going on. Check it out.
I haven't heard Kronanka. Do they still have that game?
Yes, man. If you go certain, it's be the Kronanka. Yeah,
good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection.
Yes, man. Good morning.
Good morning.
So how you doing?
Oh, the gentleman mentioned the book, Title Creature. I think I asked him to give out the 5 miles a sentence or the detail or something in the introduction part.
Please hearing him call us back.
We don't hear no creature, no insect, no, we don't get not even thing. But it has been introduced.
I wrote down the name of the author. Yeah.
Yes, it was talking about IMF and the World Bank and the thing there.
Mm-hmm.
We're not strong enough as Jamaica to really have any big share. We're not a portion of the World Bank and the IMF.
Do we need it?
We only member of the IMF. We never used to borrow money from the IMF. You know.
True.
Bad economic, the part of both administration where we have money. When it start borrow money from the IMF for a small country, it gonna cost you more than the average country. Well, that's where we are. The policy that we elected to manage our fear.
Yeah, the cost of money is commensurate with risk. If you're a small country that represents high risk, then money is going to be more expensive for you to borrow.
But
there are small countries that, by virtue of their contribution to world economy, do very well. But I suspect that's not what you called. Go ahead with your point.
No, so that's why all I'm saying Dr. Peter is kind of the wicked in his power to follow through because instead of the 40 years, no, we have slipped. Instead of climb, we are slipping down the ladder.
Yes, we're back on the down escalator.
I bet you know we make a take the last 20, 30 years, the same thing we have been talking about, as if leadership feel us left, right, and center. What about that, Pastor?
About leadership? No, but I said leadership across.
Ramp up now.
Yeah, but I'm saying leadership is important thing, and so the things we should be doing, we step away from, so you see the result. So it is.
Yes, even the Adventist church, people used to say the Adventist church is 3 to 1 in comparison to a church. But if you ever take a visit right through the island, I think the Adventists have said they have over 200 churches. They're drinking most of the ghosts, they can't migrate.
Okay.
Jamaica now say nothing.
Yeah. That's
I can't to the Minister of Education. She said she was saying that a lot of young graduate teachers to fill the void.
So the
thousands. The migrant teachers who intend to migrate.
Yeah.
But they are coming. They have to come about. I think rather than push them with no experience.
Yeah.
But yeah, I understand where the minister is coming from. Because the void has to be filled.
Yes,
what are we going to do to at least minimize the migration of our educated people? Bring that repatriators. So these are things where leadership, especially on the political level, should put us in the right direction, or they should be replaced. No disrespect, but you can't talk a year ago, come decade, come and go, we still have been talking the same thing.
Because we continue to avoid dealing with the root issues. So, I mean, we keep walking the same trail because we refuse to deal with what's at heart, the root of our discontent.
Yes, ma'am. You're a country man, so if anything, I'm still living in the country.
Well, I'm a country woman, so it's all right.
Okay. Yeah, you are so right. You are so right, And as a result, they leave them look like we allow them to take us for our food.
Yeah, and when I say we refuse to deal with the root issues, I mean we people, because we see that leadership is bad, yet we select from the same pool. We know the things that we want to see corrected, yet we ourselves won't take the personal responsibility to address it front on. Everybody seems to go up there and lose their head and start to push that agenda. And there we talk about now